My name is Jamie Masters McDowell, and I'm responsible for the Dollars for Hours project at PartnerRe's. Tonight, I have the pleasure of welcoming all of you to our 9th Dollars for Hours reception. It's a time to celebrate a successful partnership between Bermuda's youth and the community. That said, I have to admit, it is the first time in the project's history that we've had 2 back-to-back hurricanes to contend with. So I just want to say well done, everyone, to all of the students and charities for, despite that, coming together and being able to pull your projects off. So thank you. And on that note, I'd like to welcome PartnerRe's President and CEO, Kostas Moranthis, to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Jamie, and welcome everybody. Welcome honored guests, the Deputy Governor, Minister of Education, teachers, charities, parents, other friends, and most importantly, students. Welcome. We're glad to have you here tonight. This is the grand finale of our annual Dollars for Hours charity. And it's something that began off small with a very simple idea, really. Bring students and charities together and let both parties get something out of it. Students learn at a very early age the value of giving, the value of doing charitable work, and charities have access to a very energetic pool of volunteers. And all we can do is grease the wheels a little bit and donate some money to a cause that we really believe in, which is education on the island, and it's worked. And you can tell it's worked by just going round the tables and seeing the enthusiasm with which students speak about their projects. It's great. You've all done fantastically well, but I will give you a few figures about what happened this year. So we had 8 schools paired with 8 charities. More than 200 students were involved this year in all the charitable work, and they put in just over 2,800 hours, and in the process raised $240,000. So give them a round of applause. And over the 9 years, this is even more impressive. Over the 9 years that we've been doing this has grown from a relatively small start to what it is today. It is an annual event, and over 9 years, we have 1,500 students involved, putting more than 17,000 hours and raising just over $2 million over 9 years, which has gone to 28 local charities on the islands. I think you will agree with me that's a worthwhile cause, and we intend to continue that. It puts money back into the community, and it puts money back to education, which I think it really is the future for the island. So with that, I would like now to hand out some checks, and I will call the schools in alphabetical order, and may I please have a representative of each team to hand out the check. So first we have Berkeley. Okay, good. Next, I believe, is the Bermuda High School. The Bermuda Institute. Cedar Bridge. Mount St. Agnes. Salters. Summersfield. And finally, Warwick Academy. So thanks again, thanks to all of those involved, schools, students, charities, and a special thanks to Jamie and the PartnerRe's staff that organized that. I know she spent a lot of the time during the year to this event, so thank you. And with that, I'd like to ask the Minister of Education, Dr. Grant Gibbons, to say a few words.
Good evening, everybody. It's certainly my pleasure to be here this evening, and I'd like to obviously start by thanking Kostas Maranthis and PartnerRe for so generously supporting this initiative and obviously organizing it over a number of years as well. I think it's obviously a terrific program, and I think certainly $2 million over 9 years is an extraordinary contribution back into the community. I was struck when I was thinking about this at what really an effective program it was, because it obviously is helping schools, and I gather that some of the money is going into scholarships and curriculum and things of that sort. But it's helping charities as well by getting students out there and helping them with various projects. So it's working well on those two levels. But I think, as Kostas says, I think most importantly, it's actually engaging students in public service, and I think it's getting all of them involved at a fairly young age. And I think some of us who sort of, I guess, watched Bermuda over the years have recognized that this community actually works very well, because there are a tremendous number of people in the community who are prepared, who care, and who are prepared to help others, both through charitable work and individually as well. And it's a bit of a cliche, but I think it used to be said that if government had to do all that, not only would we be bankrupt faster, but we'd never be able to afford it. So just the whole volunteering and working in the community is obviously a very important issue for us as well. But from my perspective, it's also a way, and we can call them students, but I like to think of them as the rising generation, and getting them involved in sort of helping others, understanding what volunteering is all about. And obviously we hope that it will also be a lifelong endeavor as well, not just sort of a one-off project. And I gather, just in terms of talking to some of the students and the enthusiasm that was involved in this, I think perhaps the seeds have been set here as well, but very important. And I think the other issue too, which struck me, is in the process of doing these projects, I think there's a lot of learning involved. And there's a nice quote from Mahatma Gandhi, and those of you who don't know who Mahatma Gandhi is, there's always Google. But he said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And I think it's a really good, it's a good quote, and obviously someone who very much embodied that principle as well. So let me also, while I'm at it, thank the teachers who were involved, and I guess I was talking to a few parents as well. I'm sure they had a role to play in it, but congratulate the students who were very much a part of this and who were involved, because I think from what I can see, you've done a terrific job and had a lot of interesting exposure here. And I'll end by thanking all the various charities that were involved here today, and others as well, who for their participation and for their work in the community, because I think it's a really important thing that we've got to nurture, and I certainly wish them well. So I'll end by, I think it's appropriate at this point in December to wish you all a very happy Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year as well. Thank you very much.